Welcome back, everybody. This is Lauren Arndt, and today I'm going to review Jimy Long's 90-degree bent turners. They come in 50 thousandths of an inch, 40 thousandths of an inch, and what appears to be 30 thousandths of an inch, although my micrometer says 32 on this. And I think that might just be an anomaly, but let's just call it 30 thousandths. It's an interesting concept. You've got the advantage of applying rotational force as well as downward force. And if you can maintain that simultaneous application of forces, then you're going to minimize rolling and you're going to improve gripping. And it's a little harder to do when you're picking in hand. Most of us are accustomed to seeing videos where people are articulating in front of the lock as if it's like a door lock. And that being said, maybe these things work great for door lock applications because everything is sort of 90 degree to your chest. But picking, in hand is an entirely different game. Everything has to be in a happy relationship with your wrist, your hand, the way you're holding the lock, and the way you're adapting your finger. Everything has to be comfortable. So once you take care of that part of it, you got to be able to hold the pick at that same angle. I like to have things sort of, I'm going to call it like a 45-degree angle. I can't pick like this. I can pick like this, okay, 90 degrees, but more at an angle like this. And that just seems more natural to me. I think most of us would agree that using a top of the keyway turner for a master lock might be more difficult, and that is because it's blocking that first pin and it's more restrictive. So that being said, it would be more beneficial if you're going to use a top of the keyway turner. You're going to probably want to use a much thinner pick, at least 15 thousandths to 18 thousandths, in that range. And it's an interesting design because what you got is, whether you're left-handed turner or right-handed turner, or you're picking from the right or picking from the left, or you got the lock upside down or right side up, however you want to look at it, it does offer all of those benefits. But the problem was, with this 50 thousandths of an inch turner, it doesn't fit the lock, and that means I have to resort to a 40 thousandths. And what that means is now I have to kind of hold it like this, and that might be okay for some people, but I'm the kind of person that I like things to fit as tight as possible. And I said, why not? Jimy was kind enough to send these at no charge, and do a little review is really optional. He never asked me to do a review. He sent me these these turners, and it helped solve my frustrations for the American locks that I was doing reviews on. And Jimy, kind of thank you. You helped me because I made some cool tools out of it. Sometimes we make things out of frustration. So I took one of his tools and I ground it down from 50 thousandths down to 48 thousandths, and now I got a turner that fits the M1 keyway really snug, and I got a little bit better of an angle. Was it worth it? Maybe not. Some people are going to say, that wasn't worth it. But look here, it looks really comfortable, really, okay? I got that downward torque that I'm applying on the turner. I'm also applying rotational force, and that makes a lot of sense. And I can take my hook pick and kind of go at the bottom of the keyway and find those pinholes, and it got lots of space in there. It works. Trust me, it does. Problem is, if you're having it pick like I do, like this, then I got to change the angle of how. Then I got to put my hand over the lock body, and I got to adjust my finger. And now I can do it like this. So look at my body. Now I can pick like this. So I'm coming out more like this angle. So the lock is facing my ear right here. So if that works for you, where you can pick, however you can hold the lock, like this, like this. But if you're having to bend your wrist and put your hands and your fingers in uncomfortable positions, don't use these turners. use something else, whatever you feel comfortable with. But, I love the concept behind this. I like the engineering, but it does take some getting used to, and you got to catch yourself the way you hold your lock, and making sure that you're going to reduce rollout. But again, Jimmy, thank you very much for saying these to me. Your heart's in the right place, and you offer some great energy to the lock sport community, and I really appreciate you sending these out and giving me the opportunity to do a review. And by no means did Jimmy ask me to do a review for these products, and it was completely my choice, and decided today to show my face for the first time doing a lock picking video. So I hope everybody gets a good look at my pretty glasses and my dirty hands. Anyway, thank you very much, and have a great day, everybody.